Recently I solo queued to mastery in one stream. It was a long process with plenty of adjustments and lessons to be learned in the art of solo queuing in Apex Legends Ranked. Stay tuned for some sage knowledge, and if you did find the video helpful, make sure to smash that like button. Without further ado, let's get into it. Apex Ranked is designed so that you get max possible RP at 6 kill points, so that's 6 kills or assists. This multiplies with your placement points and means that you can play until late game and still be on minus net RP. Taking early fights is important not only because you secure KP and thus your RP multiplier into late game, but the potential to clutch is higher as the enemy team usually is more spread out, disorganized, and not looted up. Securing these early kill points will give your team a lot of safety without feeling like you have to push into bad engagements just to gain those KP. You don't need to max out your kill points in early game either. 2 to 3 kill points are fine, you'll make up for this in mid or late game. So following up on that last tip, you want to figure out isolated fights where this can be done. Try to find a landing spot where there's one team landing that you feel confident that you can contest and win without being third partied. Or keep an eye on the lookout for 2 teams that are currently contesting each other. Then all you have to do is land nearby and prepare to third party for easy kill points. This is especially useful if you don't have faith that your teammates will be able to contribute. Just make sure that nobody gets knocked and keep an eye on your back, because if you're planning to third party, odds are someone is planning to do the same to you. On the subject of choosing a team to contest, keep an eye out for so-called 3 points teams. Look out for weaknesses, such as people dropping solo or maybe without a third, or maybe taking too much space in the drop where you can force a fight on somebody who's split up from the rest of their team. If you are in Master, you want to keep your eyes out for diamond trails or even no trails. Though take this piece of advice with a little bit of a grain of salt depending on how many cheaters are in your lobbies, because odds are if they don't have a trail in Ranked, they might just be hitting that aimbot juice. Always be wary of the whereabouts of the rest of your lobby. Without me getting too much into detail about rotations and more, as that's a whole different guide, be wary of stirring pots. A stirring pot is what I call a spot where an initiated fight leads to a third party, a fourth party, and before you know it, 10 squads have died in that POI, all looking for that quick kill point. Avoid fighting in high congested areas to avoid getting stuck in these death traps. If someone engages with you in a high risk area, try to clean up fast and disengage as fast as possible, because things are about to get dicey. Examples of stirring pots are usually central spots such as Fragment, Lava Siphon, Skyhook, where many teams are dropping close to each other and then the rest of the lobby has to rotate into it in mid game. If you've taken the advice I gave you earlier and already secured some KP, make sure to take the long rotations and avoid these stirring pots, and simply just kick back as the placement points and RP falls into your pocket. If your goal is to climb in Ranked, keep in mind that you are the only common denominator across all games, lobbies, teammates, and other types of RNG. If you're in the high ranks of Apex, odds are that you're actually the best player on your team. If your teammates get caught and die in an unfavorable position, consider cutting your losses and move on and get placement points. Winning a 2v3 or a 1v3 is rarer the closer you are to true rank, and if you and your teammates manage to secure some kill points early in the game, cutting your losses will not sting as much. Predicting where the circle will pull and setting up to play for second or maybe third place is boring, but it will get you the most amount of points. Actively shot call. If you know what you're doing and you know what's necessary, keep communicating with your team and make sure that they are on board. Your teammates don't have to speak for themselves, and there's a chance that they're not even listening and they might actually mess up your plans. But your chances of winning increase significantly if you have a set game plan and you make sure that your teammates are with you. You'd be surprised how willing people are to listen if you're confident enough. Case in point, this video. I cracked the bang, but unless you get damage, you're gonna leave. Alright, run. We'll just go and take position. Depending on your teammates, you might have to make micro calls and make sure that they are in the right position at the right time. Just play yourself, I'll play myself. We're ratting now. I think there's like one team and only rats, so... Simple calls like don't give up high ground, don't fight, stay here, are ways to keep them disciplined and are paramount to your success. Read the lobbies. Depending on your rank, your region, and even your time of the day, your lobbies can either go by really fast in aforementioned stirring pots, or play by really slow, almost like in a tournament. In some cases, the lobbies start thinning out fast and then leaves 10 or so teams left that are in full tryhard mode. The only way to survive in a tryhard lobby is to beat everyone else on rotations, but it's very hard to know if you're in a tryhard lobby until it is too late. Therefore, keep an ear on the ground, and if you keep finding yourself in situations where your gate's kept out of late game, change up your strategy and try rotating early and then just hold that position. If you don't have faith in your teammates to deal with the opponents in the lobby, play small, Try to hide, play on the safe side of the zone. Playing small, playing big, and body language. Playing small brings me to the next points. I realize that it's incredibly hard to read what an enemy team wants to do in ranked. If it is a full stack, usually they want to play aggressive, and if they see that you are fully set up with a Watson or Caustic, they will want to fight, even if it will result in the whole lobby ending up in a stirring pot. The best way to stop a team that wants to play aggressive is posturing. You want to play big, take a lot of space, and keep poking and doing damage, which will stave them off. If you're in a position you want, but you don't feel like you can play big and do enough damage to keep the aggressive early arrivals at bay, you can try playing small at the edge of zone and hide until things change and you get another opening. Getting into the circle in this situation is pretty tricky though. Posturing and playing bid is incredibly slept on. If you have a good position as a duo or you are completely playing on your own, you can hold off entire teams just by laying down enough fire to make the team believe that you're a full squad yourself. This usually works in mid to late game if you want to keep a team away from taking your corner. Always be wary of the Platinum 4, Diamond 4, or even Master teammates. They have nothing to lose, and if they are Jump Master, they might just send you on a suicide mission among several other squads. Ideally, you always want to be the Jump Master so you can execute a plan as you are landing, but it's especially important not to give a potential hard stuck player the reins of the game, because odds are that they are tilted or they just don't care enough since they have nothing to lose. As with most things, make sure that you do secure KP early on, and this will keep them docile and have a good effect on stopping them from doing something stupid later on in the game. What fights to take? Odds are, as a team of solos, you will not have the synergy, communication, nor skill to set up a proper team fight and engage in an isolated 3v3. Taking a fight for positioning is smart if you know you can finish it fast, but incredibly difficult to set up if you don't know the skill of your teammates. The game gets a lot easier if your main focus for team fights is going for third parties. A well-timed third party doesn't even need help from your teammates. You can just go in and snag kills as they're busy fighting each other. Just make sure that you have an escape plan or a way out, and never stop to loot for more than a few seconds, just in case another third party is just around the corner and you're about to find yourself in a stirring pot. You can still get kills without outright picking team fights. By having a strong position set up either all the way into late game or right at the edge of zone as it closes, you will get free picks on teams that are rotating into the zone. If you're setting up at the edge of zone, make sure that your back is clear and that you don't spend too much time there, because odds are that you might get shoved out into the zone or get kept by another team that's coming from inside of the circle. Just don't die. You staying alive is more important than you getting a kill. If you overextend to finish off a pick or to get loot or any other risky decision, you might end up getting downed, and every time a fight starts, there's usually a bunch of teams that are hovering and waiting for an entry to go in. And you need to be ready and healed up to deal with the third party when the initial fight ends. If you get a lot of damage in, sick your teammates on the rest of the team and put some faith in them as you reset with a battery or a phoenix, then push with your teammates to clean out the house. As soon as you go down in a ranked game of Apex, you've probably lost. If one or both of your teammates get knocked with no chance of recovering, you should bail on them before you go all the way back to the lobby. Know your limits and cut your losses when things take a turn for the worse. Winning the game with max KP is a great feeling and it is good progress for your ranked journey, but ratting to second place after your teammates have died in mid-game is still progress. Now this is obviously situational, but odds are that you're not going to be able to get your teammates if they go down and get finished. Not even their banners, because banner camping is common and people take forever to loot. So take the opportunity you have to get the hell out of there as the enemy team finishes up and loots your teammates, and you go ratting. If you aren't sure about balance and you don't know what weapons to run, coupling a close range gun like a shotgun with a closer mid-range gun like maybe the R99 or R301 will get you the most consistent damage. Running a sniper or a long range gun only works if you have early position and can poke for damage or for lucky picks, but it shouldn't be part of your normal loadout as most fights are in close to mid-range. If you're playing from behind, high DPS close range guns are your best friend to turn fights around and close them out quickly. Poking from an unfavorable position will reveal your position and make you an easy pick for third parties or teams that have set up way ahead of you. Solo queuing is an absolute pain with the design of the rank system, but these are some of the ways I managed to finish the solo queue to master in one stream in about 26 hours of playtime. Discipline and keeping your teammates in line are the biggest keys to making progress in ranked, no matter the rank. And by re-evaluating your strategy every game, you'll find the best ways to get points in whatever type of lobby you're finding yourself in. If you want to see what type of guns to run, I recently made a weapon tier list video for this new patch. It's linked in the description and will show up on the screen in a little bit.